Hello. Happy Thursday, everyone. Bear with me for 1 second. I hope everybody's doing well. Back for another Thursday night, and boy, has the temperature changed. It is a beautiful day here. Right now, it's still 58 degrees, which is awesome. So, tonight we will be playing with Around the Bend. Really pretty stamps, and the dies are just beautiful, and that's what I focused on for these cards are the dies, the flowers, and the leaves. I actually used the scallop contour frames, and then for the inside I did stamp. Hey Karen, how are you, honey? Hey Do, I'm sweating too, Do. I'm considering putting the air conditioners in. And then I also made this card. I'm going to see if I can't move this up a little bit without losing my focus. This is a die. I'm using the, let me just get the name because Enjoy the Journey. That's the DSP I'm using. And then I just added the flowers to the corners. And then for the third card, it's a little 4x4 card, either a money card or a gift card holder. And I'll show you. I'm going to take one of my cards out of my wallet here. So it is a little 4x4, and then on the inside there is a little pocket that you can either stick in money or a gift card, and it fits right inside. Okay, so just a quick and easy little gift pack that you can create. So before we start creating, I just want to say that today is what, the 6th? You have until the 15th to register for my new craft box. I have this card here. And then this one. And this is using the Desert Details. And then here is another Fun Fold card. It actually, I didn't do the inside as you can see, but it is a Fun Fold. Oops. And then this one here. And then the 3D item for this class is actually a tea bag dispenser. It fits little your tea bags, and then the top comes off. Hi, Kathleen. So you have till the 15th. It is posted in the group. And we can get started on tonight's cards. Hope everybody's doing good. Like I said, like Emma was saying, it's pretty warm today. I really am considering putting our air conditioners in because, oh my goodness, I can't stand the heat. What am I going to do this summer? All right, so I'm using this subtle shimmer paper. It is retired. I've been going through my room trying to, thank you for sharing. Hey, Margaret. It's retired, but I've been going through my stuff so I could have my online yard sale, and I found this and decided to use it with the, like I said, Enjoy the Journey and the stars. And I'm using Night of Navy and Basic White. Okay. And like this is one of the dies that is included in Oops. Included in this set. I'm just looking to see. Oh, here it is. I'm going to pull the die so you can see. So what I did was, before we get started, I cut this piece as wide as I wanted. And this one is actually about, I did about 2.5 inches. And then I laid the die down onto the paper, ran it through the cut and emboss machine. And before I ran it through, I also took this second die and laid it down right at the edge, just like that. So I would get also a scalloped, hitting 80s this weekend. Yeah, it's windy here too. Yeah, hey Kathy. But yeah, I'm really considering it. So that is how I did it. So if this was my glimmer paper, I laid this down. I took the scallop and I lined it up just like that. So it actually cut this like this. Okay. And then it also cut my scallop. So that's how that was done. I will have a PDF tomorrow. I can't guarantee a time, but it will be, so you don't have to worry about dimensions. I'm starting with basic white, 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4.25. Then I grabbed a piece of Night of Navy, and this is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and then my designer series paper, 5 1/4 by 4. Here's my cut piece, and I'm going to actually add this to my designer series paper first. So this way, if I need to trim the edge, I can. So it's not doesn't go over the edge. All right, so I'm just adding some glue to these wider sections. And then I added it to the edge. And I want to lay it just about here. And I just want to make sure it's on here straight. And it goes right up to the edge on both sides. And I'm going to just scoot that over just a little. And I want to make sure that it is down really nice. Yeah, this glitter, hey Kathy, this glitter paper is really pretty. And then I'm taking the scallop edge and I'm just going to do the same thing. Just going to run some glue and I'm going to lay it in, giving it a little bit of a gap, hoping to keep it pretty much even, and then it doesn't go over the edge. And then here, that gives us the start of the front of our card. Now I'm going to use the bordered ribbon, and this is Night of Navy, and it's available in the mini catalog that will be retiring soon. And I'm going to do a cheat. So I just cut a length. I want to hide this seam right here. I'm just looking to see what I did with my glue dots. So I'm just going to grab them and grab my ribbon. And as everybody knows, I don't like to wrap and tie a bow, so I cheat. I add glue dots to each end of my ribbon. And then I lay my ribbon down where I want it. I'm just going to lift that up a little bit. And then using those glue dots, I tuck it around. This way my ribbon stays nice and taut. I don't have to worry about my bow. I'm going to pull in my Night of Navy, and now I'm going to add my glue. We're going to lay this down on my mat. And then we can pull in our card base, and I can add this right to the front of the card. Okay, so there is our card base. Hey Sheila, how is everybody? All right, so now we're going to add our sentiment. And I am actually happy to announce that the double oval punch is in the new catalog. That was the first thing I checked, believe it or not. I wanted to make sure that that oval punch was in the catalog, and it is. So I am just going to just wanted to say thanks. I gotta see what I did with it. Oh, right here in front of me. And I am going to pull in my Night of Navy. I'm just going to grab my silicone mat so we get a nice stamp. And I can stamp it right about there. It should be over far enough. And I'm actually going to just cut this in half so I have that piece for another sentiment. Because you know, when I put this in, I want the bottom oval. We're just going to line that up and give it a punch. And I'm going to add some glue. I already did the scalloped in the Night of Navy. And we can add our sentiment right to the top. We'll give that a minute to dry so it doesn't shift. I'm going to grab some more ribbon and we're going to make our bow. So we were supposed to have storms today, and they were calling for some, I didn't do it long enough. They were calling for some crazy storms, and we ended up getting nothing. No, I haven't gotten it yet, Karen. Actually, I did not check the mail today. I'm going to check it tomorrow. My brother actually showed up today. I haven't seen him since last year sometime. Actually, I saw him last year at tax time, and I saw him today because he dropped off his stuff so I can do his taxes. I used to work for H&R Block, and so I do his taxes every year, and that's why he showed up. So I see him once a year at tax time, and he lives about 45 minutes away from me. All right, so I'm going to add my bow. So I will check the mail tomorrow, and I will let you know. So I'm just going to add the bow just about here. And you know, I'm going to add an additional glue dot because it's warm in here tonight. So they're really yucky. And I'm just going to add my bow right here. And I'm going to grab my sentiment. Oh, wrong dimensionals. And we're going to add some dimensionals. And we're just going to stick this right here. And it looks a little crooked. Just like that. Then I decided to use some rhinestones. And I'm actually going to grab a large rhinestone and put it in the corner. And then I'm going to grab one of the smaller rhinestones. Okay, little rhinestone. And add it right underneath. I'm going to add one to the sentiment. And then I am going to add one right down here in this bottom corner. All right, so there is the front of our card. So jumping on to the inside, I think this is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then we have 5 1/4 by 4. And I'm going to take this cute little flower stamp. And I'm going to grab my Knight of Navy. Make sure it's inked up good. And I'm just going to put one of these flowers in every corner. So nice, quick and easy, but cute inside. No glue. We're going to use some seal so we don't see that glue through. I'm going to stand over it so I can eyeball it. Grab our card. And just add it to the center of our card. And there we have card number 1. Thanks, Kathy. Just going to mark this so I know, so I stay on camera. All right, so let's jump to card number 2. This one is, again, using the basic white, and it's 11 by 4 1/4, and it is scored at 5 1/2. Okay. And that looks like it is off just a bit. Let me just fix that. And then I have a layer of Knight of Navy again, 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then a piece of the Designer Series paper, 5 1/4 by 4. So let's get these glued together. This is really pretty paper. Actually, let me just check. This might not be. I was wrong. 5 1/8 by 3 7/8 is the Designer Series paper. I think because at first I was going to add an additional layer of basic white between the Knight of Navy and the Designer Series paper, and then I decided not to. Whoops. All right. So there is our card base. Thanks, Margaret. Now for the front of the card, this set has these pretty little flowers, this one, and then one that comes with 3, and some really nice leaves. Okay, and you can see that the leaves, the vines are embossed, the vines of the leaves, and then the little lines in the flowers, it embosses the flower and the leaves. Let me just get these in here so I don't lose them. All right, there we go. So I die cut the scalloped frame, and this is the one that's 3 1/8 by 4 1/2. Okay, and I die cut. I think I used 3 leaves, and I did them in Night of Navy. I did 1 large flower, and I'm just looking here, and then I did the 3 flowers, but I'm only using 2 of them. And just give me 1 second. Oh, I do have, oh no, I don't. Give me 1 second. I want to cut the center. I thought I did, but I guess I missed it. This set has this teeny little circle to cut the center of the flower. So I did it in Night of Navy. So I am going to just pick that up. I'm going to add a bit of glue to the center and add that piece so it has a few minutes to dry. And we can move that out of the way. I'm going to, using this, I'm going to put my sentiment directly on this layer. So we're going to pull in, I'm going to move this over, our Night of Navy again. And I just got my finger, so let me just quick clean this off because you know what's going to happen. All right. And I'm going to just grab my Hello There stamp. And I can see through this one. So it should be easy to get on here straight. Just going to pull in my silicone mat so I get a nice clean stamp. Make sure there's enough ink on it. And I'm going to use this perforated dots to add my sentiment. So I'm going to start with the large flower, and I'm just going to add 1 dimensional into the center, and I am going to center this flower up here at the top. Okay, so that would be my focal point. Now I'm going to add my leaves. Whoops. So I just want to put some glue on these bottom leaves, and then we're just going to tuck it under and press it down. So it will, once it dries, this will not be sticking down. And then we're going to take another set of leaves, do the same thing, and I'm going to put it down here on the opposite side, and I want it underneath that flower. And then I'm just going to grab 1 more. This one's a little different. There's 2 different leaf dies. I'm going to stick this one right under there. All right. I left leaves off of this because I'm going to put my embellishments here. And then we're going to take our small little flowers. I'm actually going to poke the inside holes out. You can leave them if you wanted. I just wanted the navy blue to show through. And I'm going to add one over here and one down here. So I'm just going to tuck it under. And then the same thing over here. I'm just going to tuck it under. Oops. And then we'll let that dry. And while they're drying, let's grab those embellishments that just disappeared. Oh, here they are. I was going to say that just disappeared. And I'm going to take a large one and stick it on this corner. And then we're just going to add some around. Oops. I'm going to put one more right there. All right, so we have our rhinestones. Hey, Pam. And we'll pull our card base back in. Our flowers should be dry. And we're going to pop this up onto the front of the card. So we're going to center this just like that. And then we can tie another ribbon. I'm going to make sure I cut enough this time. Thanks, Pam. Crazy warm today. All right, so just going to get this tied. I want to get that knot nice and tight in the center. And then check to see that my loops are even. And then just cut my tails. All right, let's grab some glue dots. Wow, these are really sticky tonight. I'm just going to add it right here under that flower. Just roll this up so they don't get all over. And then we can add the bow. So there's the front of our second card. Let's pull in the inside. And this is 5 1/4 by 4. And this is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Now, I'm just thinking I should not have put that layer on. Let's see if I can stamp this properly. Probably won't. Because on the other card, you'll notice I stamped the top. So let's see if I can do this with this layer on here. I'm just going to ink it up really well. And I want it on this corner. So let's see what happens. Not bad. Up. But I got a mark. And then I'm going to take my other layer and ink it up. I'm going to do the same thing here. Now, if you notice, there are, I don't know if you can see, there are some spots that it missed. So if you wanted, let's see if I can find it. You could take your Night of Navy Stampin' Right marker and just fill in those spots if it's really noticeable. So it'll look like you stamped it perfectly. Okay, once that dries, you'll never be able to tell. Let's see if my sand eraser will take this off. I think it's too dark. I'll have to put something there. All right, so grabbing our seal. That was me rocking my stamp again. There we go. So let's pull the card back in. Got a little bit of glue on there. And then we can add our center. I think what I'll do is, I can always put a flower. I'll cover it up. So I have an extra flower here that I die cut. So let's fix this. I'm going to add a glue dot. And I'm just going to stick a flower right there in the center. Yeah, I would too, Kathy. That's for sure, right? Well, thank you. So there's card number 2. I just love Night of Navy. Now for card number 3. Actually, it's a gift card holder, like I said, or money. And I didn't even decorate the inside of this one. And I think what we'll do is we will decorate this one. So I have some basic white, and it is 4 by 8, and it's scored at 4. Okay. And then I did the same, and I didn't die cut it because I wanted to show you. So I have some Night of Navy, and this is 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. And that's going to go on the front of the card. And then I have the subtle shimmer paper. And let me just see what I did with, oh, it's right here. So I used this die here. It's actually oval. And I want to lay this down, and you can lay it down however you wish. And I think I'll do it this way this time, starting at the corner. And you're just going to lay it down and run it through the cut and emboss machine. And that is what I'm going to do right now. Give me 1 second. So when you run it through, you actually have to take it apart. This is the shimmer paper, so when it cuts, it doesn't come apart that easy. So we have to remove this piece. I want to do it carefully so I don't rip any of my leaves. And it did cut all the way through. It's just that it doesn't fall apart. And then we can take out these insides. And one more. All right, so this is what we're left with. So this will fit right here on the front of the card. So let's glue this together. I'm actually going to add a bit of glue to these leaves so it does stick down and doesn't get caught up on anything. And then we're going to add glue to that. And I am going to leave a little bit of a gap. Okay, so there is the front. Yeah, Night of Navy. Thanks, Sheila. Thanks, Margaret. Night of Navy and white are really pretty. And then we're going to add this right to the front of the card. Make sure it's on here straight. All right. Now this time I actually did the flower in Night of Navy. I'm going to add a little bit of glue. And for the center that I'm putting on right now, I did it in the shimmer paper so it would contrast. And the leaves I actually did in white. And I think I did add 2 of the smaller flowers. Let me pull it out in Night of Navy. And this time I left the centers. So I'm going to start with my Night of Navy flower. And I'm going to center it right about here. Whoops. And add that to the front of the card. Now we're going to do the same thing with our leaves. Add a bit of glue. And tuck it under. And tuck it under. And then with these little flowers, I think this time I'm going to add them with a glue dot. So we'll put one here. I'll just lift that up and tuck it under. And the other one I'll add right here. And then we're going to grab our ribbon and create another bow. Thanks, Pam. All right, so we got a nice little bow tied. And we're going to grab another glue dot. I'm going to add it right here. Let's take our bow, make sure I have it the right way. Cut my tails. And we're going to add it right here under that flower. Just like that. Let's grab those rhinestones. And I'm actually going to put, one 2. Even the sticky stuff on my point is really sticky. And this one, I'm going to put them side by side instead of up and down. Okay, so we got 2 here, and you can't even see it, but 2 there. All right, so then we're going to jump to the inside. I have a basic white 3 7/8 by 3 7/8, and then I have my Night of Navy 3 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. I took this rounded die and I wanted to just make a corner pocket. So I'm going to just line it up so I have a pretty good pocket. I'm going to run this through. So give me a second. I want to make sure I get it lined up and don't mess it up. Oops. That's what I thought I was going to do. Okay, so I just have a corner for the inside. And I'm just going to trim this a little bit because it, just like that. Now this time, I think what I'll do it a little different. Let's grab some Versamark. I'm going to grab some white embossing powder. And we'll decorate the inside of tonight's card. I didn't do it to the other one. So I'm going to grab this corner. And I'm going to ink it up really well. Add my leaves to this side. And add some white embossing powder. Much better. All right, so I added some leaves. Thanks, Sheila. And I'm just embossing this white, and I would pull it up, but my cord is not long enough. All right, so we added some leaves. This way, at least the inside won't look so dull and boring, right? I wasn't even thinking, I guess, when I did the inside. But what else is new? All right, so we have our basic white, and I have my Night of Navy. And what I'm going to do is take some Terran tape, and I'm going to add a piece of Terran tape on one side. Get my little cutter here. And then I'm going to add one to the bottom. Just like that. Make sure it's adhered really well. Pull in my piece of basic white, and I'm just going to leave a little bit on the edge of the white so we can see that white. All right, and then like I said, you can take your gift card or money and stick it right into that corner. Now I'm going to add this to the inside, but I'm going to use some seal. So I don't want to see that glue. Thanks, Karen. And then open it up. And add it right there to the center of our card. That looks so much better. All right, so now our gift card or your money can be inserted right there in the envelope. So you have a gift. You could use this card. Whoops. I'm going to come up a little bit. This card. Or you could use this card here. So I hope you liked tonight's cards. Thanks, Stu. I think, like I said, I will have the PDF posted tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be done in the morning, but I'm not sure. I am overwhelmed right now with stuff. So, but it will be there tomorrow sometime. So have a great rest of your night. Get ready for Sunday's Simple Saturday, Stepped Up Sunday. And you can use that host code that's on the screen. Thanks for joining me tonight. Have a great rest of the evening, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Margaret. Bye-bye.